All right, Dana. So now, there was a time when a seed was planted in your head about the potential of a women's professional league in Canada. That was years ago. It's been a lot of work put forward. It became Project 8 for a while, and we called Project 8 for a long time. And then it became the Northern Super League. Then suddenly these clubs started arriving, 6 of them. And these fan bases became noisy on social media. The excitement grew. And here we are now, not, as Wonga said, not match day -1, but league -1.
Yeah.
League -1, Diana.
Right?
It's crazy.
LD -1, L -1. I
like that. How does Dana, the fan of the sport, first of all, forget the executive, the pioneer, the fan of the sport, feel right now, one day out?
Oh, you know what? It's kind of, I hear your question. I think it's more like the former player is feeling it, because it does feel like match day -1. Actually, my wife's on her way now. Her parents are coming. My parents are coming. She was a speed skater, and both are nervous. Our parents were like, it feels like it's game day. Like there's that buzz. I'm so looking forward to getting to the game tomorrow, seeing the buzz in the crowd, feeling all that. But it is honestly one of my favorite things in the world to be on a pitch pre-game, and like that experience. Not everyone gets to do it, and I can't wait for being on that field before the game. And you know, I did it as a player. Sink would always have that moment half field where she'd go and she'd visualize. I would do a lap, and yeah, I don't know, lap in L -1 day. I think that one's going to be special.
Are you going to do a lap tomorrow and today?
Yeah,
get out there on the pitch. Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, we're at BC Place today. We've got some media and stuff, and then, but yeah, on game day, we're doing that lap for sure.
I love it. So okay, that's the ex-player / fan. How about the pioneer, the visionary behind this league? How do you feel?
I feel like we're in good shape. I mean, if I had to go back in a time machine to getting closer to 3 years ago, then not at this point, and could say, you know, if we're zooming ahead, we got 6 teams with the ownership group we have, with the players we've been able to attract, with some of the people involved in league leadership, board chair, you know, across the league. I would say absolutely, let's go. I think I'm really, really fortunate with just the caliber of people we've been able to attract to this thing. Owners in the cities, you know, where they want to build, they're part of their community. They've built teams that reflect them. We've attracted Canadian talent back home. We've attracted players from over 20 countries. Some of the coaches we have picked up and, you know, left their existing leagues and clubs. Same with some of the league execs. So yeah, we're in good shape for what's really just like day one of the next phase of Canadian women's soccer.
Hey, Diana, what is your team behind you? You've done exceptionally well, and it's been a really tough slog, I'm sure, at times. What has been the most difficult thing for you as a team building this league to this point?
Yeah, I think it's just, and I've been asked this a few times, there's definitely not been one thing. Well, sometimes I say, ask Anastasia, ask my wife. She probably has a better view of when was the toughest time for me. I was a little like, head down, keep working. I think the toughest parts all came from the fact that we went the entrepreneur route. We went the startup route. So I think anyone who's started a business, and then certainly one that is the scale of this one, and you know, a public project as well. There was just everything that came with that. Lots of uncertainty.
We're well aware of that feeling with.
Yeah, exactly. I think everyone, every entrepreneur out there started any project can relate to that feeling. Like it's yours, you got to make it happen. And then at some point you bring on other people and there's kind of a handoff, but lots of stress, lots of uncertainty. All those things. But I think too, that was the harder route to build, but also the fact that we could do that. We have the opportunity here in Canada, in this North American market, where we have this very positive and progressive culture that puts and supports lots of girls and women in sport. We do have that option in Canada, and that actually becomes a strength for us now, because we operate, as you guys know more than anyone, in this global landscape of professional leagues that we compete for talent with. And a lot of the leagues around the world, most of the leagues around the world have been built by men's football money. So either the federation, the leagues, the clubs But you still find that can be a huge drawback at times, and decisions are still made first and foremost by men's soccer owners. They got into the game to do men's football, and now they're also doing women's football. Whereas we are 100%, every decision we make is for the best of women's football in this country. So it was a harder build, but now I think it's a huge strength for us in the landscape.
I was going to ask, how much fun is it to be doing with a lot of your crew? People you've played with, your friends. I mean, our own Amy Walsh is involved with the Roses. Yeah. I know what we're like. We keep each other up on our group of our crew. But how much fun is it, or at least, satisfying is it to be there with some of the people you played with, and that you get to share this moment with them?
Yeah, I was exchanging a few voice notes with Erin McLeod. I think maybe Sunday. She's going to be really important building out our player advisory.
Player coach, Erin McLeod.
All the things, but very passionate about athletes' rights. So we're going to be talking about that and the player group and all those things. But I was joking at one point, but I think it's true that this whole thing was just a ploy to create a situation where my friends took jobs so I could hang out with them. It's working pretty well right now. I'm in Vancouver, just went and saw Melissa Tancredi. Steph's not here right now, but she'll be back. Robin Gale is involved with Vancouver right now. I'm pretty excited about that. Aaron, obviously, Des, Quinn. Yeah, it's and we're not getting them all already. I'm playing the long game too. We're just going to get more and more of my friends working in this league is absolutely the reason I've been doing this.
You have to find one at some point, That's when it gets a little bit tricky.
No, I don't. And no
Someone
one
else will do that.
No, that's not. You don't want friends working for friends. We're all adjacent.
Right.
It's the perfect situation. Yeah.
Is this how you always saw it? I'm sure the vision's evolved and changed over the time, but these six teams to kick off, is this, if you rewind 3 or 4 years, is this kind of how you saw it happening?
Close enough. I mean, I thought there'd be 8. First of all, Project 8, we went for 8. Could only 6 were ready to go for 2025. So that was the priority. And that was the minimum we could do it with under Canada Soccer. So that's probably the biggest difference. I mean, broad strokes, more or less, it looks like the same, structure of league, how many players, where did they came from, those things. So broadly, yes. But I think, I think part of the reason why we could make this happen, why I could make this happen, is because I knew it was going to be hard, but I didn't know quite how hard, and I didn't know quite what it would take. Because if I did, it's always harder. I think it's been compared to me like childbirth. People tell you how hard it is, but you don't really know until you do it. So I think that was it. So there's lots of this I had no idea about. So I had no perception of what it was going to be like or not. I can tell you, players always think things are easy and things all just happen magically. And, everyone can imagine everything you think is harder than it looks. And building a schedule in Canada with the lack of stadiums we have and how many tenants we're sharing with and broadcast spots and all the things and seasons, building a schedule in Canada was almost impossible in year one. Even getting our teams to play each other an equal number of times, that was a challenge. So maybe things like that, but it probably just would have been kind of the process I learned the most about that.
You must have had, speaking of players, you must have had literally thousands of applications of people wanting to be part of it, sign up into this league. I can't imagine what that was dealing with that from a team standpoint. How was it for you building that side of it out?
Yeah, players. So I wasn't too hands-on with players. Building the roster, signing players was really down to the club. So their sporting director and then coaches. I would say no one wants to build a full roster from scratch again. I can tell you that. I think everyone's glad they only have to do that once too. Right. Our VP Sport that we brought in, Jose Costa, he's joined us from Portugal. He was with the Portuguese FA, helped build the Women's League over there. He came with us kind of early last fall, and he was really, really helpful in guide the clubs too. I think there was a phase we had our player contract ready, I think in August. So end of August, early September was the earliest we could have signed to anyone. And then it was a little bit of like, okay, like if we build it, they will come. And now we have to see if actually the players are going to come, because like, again, they're all employed somewhere and they know what their league and team quality is. They know who their teammates are. They know who their coach is. And the players signing up, especially the earliest ones, didn't know any of that. But Jose gave the clubs lots of good advice, was basically like, guys, right now, global landscape, you have zero leverage. All your players are employed and their agents know that, and they're going to play a bit of wait and see. So be tactical, sign the players you see out there now, but be patient. A lot of your signings are going to come, within a month or weeks before preseason. And that's actually when you're going to be able to sign the top talent too. So I think we saw a bit of that. And then, signing Quinn was huge. Signing Emma was huge. Signing Aaron, signing Desi. So I think once players could see, who else is coming to this league, once teams had coaches, that really helped too. Oh, that's going to be the coach. Okay, we're coming. So it got easier as we went.
I want to hear about the corporate side for you. Part of this couldn't be happening if the corporate environment wasn't ready for it to invest. Tell me about your corporate partners and what they've been doing and how difficult it was to get these people to change minds. Because we went and saw Billie Jean King and at the tennis United by Sports or United by Tennis. Sorry, I wish I knew that line better. But she said, you can't just bash people. You have to explain to them, they're business people. You have to explain to them why this is going to work. How easy, hard, open was that conversation for these big corporations?
Yeah, and it is huge. I mean, the way we built this league, or we thought we could be able to build this league, was, knowing we were going to invest in our own media production. That was going to be a cost. We weren't going to be paid for our media rights from day one. We needed ownership investment and we needed sponsorship. And then we get to actual games and we can have game day sales and all that. But sponsors was huge. Like, this league didn't have a chance unless we felt like we could get sponsors on board and we could hit a certain revenue target. And we're 100% where we want to be with those things. I think you've seen the quality of the sponsors we have. I would say Canadian Tire's really led in the space from day one. You can see them across all of women's sport, women's professional sport in Canada. They're still the only company out there that says we're going to have equal sponsorship across men's and women's sports in Canada. So hopefully a few more companies join them, but like Toyota, WestJet, DoorDash, Simons. We have so many sponsors now where I'm going to stop there. I need a cheat sheet now to say how
we should have told you the pre-interview. We should have sent you all these questions.
We should, this is good. This is good learning. We'll send a graphic. We could just to it. I would say it's been, it was a really good learning for me. We've got fantastic partnership people. Marianne Brooks used to be with the Canucks and then a tech firm. She's head of our sponsorship. She's amazing. I would say the learning for me was all these companies, their core business is what their core business is. And then they find sponsorship to do things. But those things aren't their core business, obviously. We know that. And most of these companies, when they find a sponsorship opportunity, they take it to an agency that then tells that company how much that sponsorship is worth. And a lot of the agencies, in sport, all the agencies used to just go through the men's professional sport formula they put in, which is very, very heavily tied to broadcast numbers. So basically how many people are watching on TV, that is very much related to how much your sponsorship is worth. That's a challenge in women's sport because we're new and we don't have giant broadcast audiences yet. But there's more and more data and work, and companies like Wasserman do evaluations now that tie more weight to what women's sport brings, which is we know we have more engagement from our fans online and with our athletes and with our brands, and they're more loyal to brands. So there's all these other things that in the past nobody assigned any value to because they weren't in the formula. People are starting to figure them out and put them in the formula. So we worked with Wasserman to evaluate, what essentially the league and all our assets were worth. And I would say that was really helpful because that's essentially what we've been able to sell them with, because it still goes through the agency and their machine and it tells us. And I think in the future too, like women's sports in good shape, because I think more and more people are realizing now it's not all about broadcast anymore. it's shifting, and there's going to be lots more value put on what is your online engagement, what is your social engagement, how much are fans talking to you, and vice versa, how much are you adding value. So I think we're in good shape to build those numbers in the future too. But sponsors have been incredible. And I went and visited all the teams in preseason. And that was one of the things I made sure to say, we can build this because of sponsorship. They're here from day one. And they're just like you guys. They signed up to this thing before we've even kicked a ball. And that is a special type of partner and sponsor that's got on board at this point.
I have our Footy Prime sponsorship cheat sheet as well. It's right here. It's there's some space on there at the moment.
Did you want to take a minute and read them all?
Yes. Woe
is us, right, Sharms?
Absolutely. Jealousy. A lot of jealousy.
You guys could get a sponsor, no problem. You just got to go find someone to just bring Wasserman on board, is what I'm saying.
All right. Or just someone stupid enough. One of the two. We'll get there. Don't worry. We'll get there. All right. So year one, what are your expectations? On the pitch, what I find exciting is there's stars who don't even know they're stars yet. And we don't know the stars yet, but they're going to be stars within a few weeks of this season starting. So on the pitch, this will be a success. But off the pitch, attendance, what are the expectations?
Yeah, I mean, the goal of year one is to have year one of women's professional soccer in Canada, and then we get to build from there. And we've been telling people for a while, and hope folks have heard it. From day one, the goal is to have this be a top 5 women's professional soccer league in the world. Even though we've just started, that's attainable in Canada because of the sponsorship dollars we're driving. Attendance, we built a model that was roughly based on around 4,000 average attendance per game in terms of fans, with obviously compared to men's sport in Canada is not massive. But if we do that, we're already 3rd highest in the world for average attendance in women's professional soccer. So, hoping to do that. We think that's achievable. I think you're going to get crowds, 3, 4, 5 times bigger than that in the opening game. So that always helps. And we're going to build out hopefully a really great championship game too, where we can drive a really large number too. But 4,000 is what the model was built on in terms of attendance. The thing I'm super excited about, the one you said, the players we don't even know yet, and that came in that we don't even know yet. Like we've seen them signed, we know the profile, but they're going to show up and just, knock it out of the park and become a star. I'm most excited about that. And I want to see what the fans do in these environments from coast to coast and what that fan culture looks like. You guys know what, soccer culture looks like around the world, how fans bring the atmosphere to life in stadium. You've seen how that's come to life in different cities in Canada, MLS, CPL. Well, now we're doing it on the women's soccer side. And I cannot wait to see how that comes to life. And I hope there's some creativity and fun. And obviously that's going to start small. We've got small supporter groups, I think, in every team now. I would imagine they're not hundreds of people yet, but they're only going to get bigger. And I'm excited to see what happens there.
Well, Wonger's got an idea about having party subways going up to the stadium at York in Toronto. And he's done it before. And I think
a copyright trademarked. So, yeah.
You're hosting it, right, Wonger? You'll be the host on the.
I'll get on. Me and JC will get on. We'll do karaoke on the way up. We'll sing supporters.
I'm totally on it.
Yeah.
Karaoke, that's good. It's probably illegal. You want to be maybe.
That's what Sharm said. Nothing. I did it with Via Train. I took over 2 Via Train cars from Toronto to Ottawa to see the Leafs play the Sens, and so it was all Bell corporate clients, and they had a blast. But I was going to talk about serendipity.
But I'm there. If you're doing that, I'm there. And
okay, see?
I would like a few requests on the karaoke
and
machine.
Just on AFC Toronto Supporters Club, one of our, from Footy Prime Supporters Club, Claudio, is the treasurer of the AFC Toronto Supporters Club. And he said there's 50, 60 people already. So just FYI, they are growing. But serendipitous to L-1, so league -1.
Yeah.
Vancouver is the place to be in all of Canada, between Vancouver, the women's match a couple of weeks ago against Argentina, and now you guys are on the billboard. You're on, if they have the marquee, NSL is on the marquee. You've got like all this opportunity. And, you know, I'm just thinking the weather's great out there. This is,
It is.
you know, there's that. And you also
Wonderful.
have the National Professional League, sorry, I'm horrible with acronyms, but the
NWSL.
Women's Hockey League, which is
PWHL.
PWH. God, sorry. You've got them who have been ringing turnstiles, broadcast rights. How has that helped, hindered, all of these things kind of coming together at the same time? A confluence of variables that seem to have like lined up for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, on the Vancouver side, I think it was a no-brainer having the first game here. I think this is, you know, such a soccer town. There's been so many women's soccer moments out here. We used to train out here all through the winter. Like my generation of national team spent so much time here. Women's World Cup here, Olympic qualifying here. Like there's been so many moments, and at BC Place, I think, and Vancouver being the first club on board, Calgary the second, I think it was very fitting we started here. And it doesn't hurt that the weather's pretty nice today. I think it's going up to 15 and the sun is out. So love that.
Rainy Vancouver.
Not today, not tomorrow, not on L-1 or L day. What are we calling the actual?
That's a marketing thing for you. I'll figure it out though.
Yeah, we haven't thought of that. Yeah, and the broader women's sport movement. I think you've probably heard from lots of women's sport people, a rising tide raises all boats, and we believe that. And I'm saying it loudly and often right now. In my opinion, Canada, along with the US, we are the best women's sport countries in the world. We have the best cultures that put the most athletes in sports. We support them. We watch them. We've been following women's football, you know, millions and millions of Canadians since 2012, if not sooner. So we've got a generation of fans with kids. And with women's professional sport finally getting started, and in my opinion, like this is a business that's like 6 years old. That's my hot take.
Right.
Women's Super League in England, you know, they started with that Barclays deal and Sky Sports BBC deal. That was 2019. Before that, no one took them seriously. The Mexican League in around 2018. The Spanish League, like 2 World Cups ago, no one was talking about them. New. NWSL, it was their CBS deal coming out of COVID that
right.
Screwed everything up. It's only in the last 5-6 years are we viewing women's professional sport as a business and a good investment, which is very similar to men's sport, a little bit different fans, a little bit differences here and there, but a good business for the first time ever. And now in Canada, we've got the PW, started last year, obviously best hockey league in the world. We've got the Northern Super League starting this year, already going to be one of the top leagues in the world. And then Toronto Temple with WNBA coming next year. We've got a world-class women's sport country here in Canada, and women's professional sport is an industry we're world-class at, is only going to get bigger. Like the potential of women's soccer globally is just massive. So yeah, we're pretty proud of it, especially right now when we're all especially pro-Canadian. Feel free to
it doesn't hurt, does it?
No, I've been to, like, one of my favorite parts of my job is I get to go to these Canadian cities, and we're like one country, and you see how different culturally we are the same but different from coast to coast, and I love it. And if any Canadians need a vacation out there, feel free to plan your tourism dollars around an NSL game, because they've got delicious oysters in Halifax. You can walk the boardwalk. Montreal, give me a break. Ottawa, national capital, you can see the flame in a museum and a soccer game. Toronto, everyone hates Toronto, but come, it's a great city. Arts, music, everything, you name it. Great food. Calgary, it's sleeping. If you haven't been there, go to Calgary. If you want to have extra fun, go to Calgary Wild's July 12th game. Why? Because it's at the end of Stampede. Have some fun there and enjoy. Go to the mountains, and then, of course, Vancouver, incredible city. Walk the seawall, go into the mountains. Like, come on, it's incredible.
Diana's going to do sponsorship with Canadian tourism.
I need to make it for sure.
I think seriously, we'll clip that part there, all right? I'm going to use that on our socials. That was great. But you're right, whether you're buying groceries or consuming sports, Canada is it right now. So I think it's really important. Listen, Craig and Amy will be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll be at the Toronto match on Saturday. The rest of us cannot wait for that. It's going to be so much fun. Dana, congratulations. it's going to be a huge success. It's just the beginning, and yeah, we're so excited for you. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Thanks for being a voice of Canadian soccer long before it was cool. And thanks for the support. We appreciate it.
It's true. Thank you.
Thanks for getting cool despite us. I like to think we're getting cool.
Is that what it is? It's getting cool despite you. That could be your tagline. Sponsors will buy.
I like that.
Successful despite us.
Yeah.
We have some meetings this week, actually. So
we do.
Wongo, don't forget that.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Diana, thanks so much. Enjoy.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.